Hi everyone, welcome back to the class. In this class, we are going to design the ice cream icon. So, without any further ado, let's get started. So, first of all, from our tools menu, we'll grab the ellipse tool, and then from the center of the artboard, we'll create a few circles. So just like this, we'll create a few circles and then we are going to increase the stroke width of these circles. And now we'll bring these circles in the center of our artboard. Now we are going to make a few adjustments. So we need to show that one circle is in the front and other two circles are at the back. So what I'm going to do is, using the shape builder tool, I will just get rid of all the intersecting shapes that are in between these first circle, just like this. And now I will get rid of this shape as well. Now you can see that by doing this step we have achieved this kind of shape that shows that all of these objects are placed in front of each other. So now one thing we are going to do is we are going to show the shining part of this whole design. So I will grab this circle and create a duplicate copy of this circle and make it smaller, and then I will reduce the thickness of the stroke, and then I will grab two corners and delete them, and then from the stroke options I will make the corners rounded, so you can see that we have achieved this kind of look. Now I will repeat the same process for this circle as well. So I will select the circle, create a duplicate copy, make the size smaller, grab the corners, delete them out, and then from the stroke options I will make the edges rounded. Now I will do the same thing for this circle as well. So now you can see that we have achieved this kind of shape. Now we will select all of these shapes together into one single group. Now we'll go ahead and start designing the lower part of our ice cream cone. So first thing we are going to do is, from the tools we are going to grab the rectangle tool and create a rectangle on the lower area of our icon guide. Now I'll select the lower areas or lower corners and bring them towards the bottom. And now I will go ahead and increase the stroke width and make the corners rounded. And then I will create few different duplicate copies of this shape. So now you can see that we have achieved this kind of look. Now we can select the center corners and make a few adjustments. So we'll just go ahead and play around with these handles to make the corners rounded. So you can see that I am just hovering on my corners and just trying to play around with the adjustments of the roundedness of the corners. So all you need to do is find the perfect spot where this looks better. So now as you can see that this is the final icon that I have created. So now what you can do is select all of these shapes together into one single group. And now what we are going to do is we'll create this icon into the fill style. So I will go ahead and create a duplicate copy of my artboard, and then I will expand my icon. Now one by one I will delete all of the internal shapes and create them into or convert them into the fill style. So I will go ahead and select this corner, and I will select this shape as well, and using the shape tool or the shape builder tool I will delete this, and then I will repeat the same process for the other parts of the design. What I can also do is I can create duplicate copy of this design and bring this on the other side. So I will do that, and I will flip it over here, and then I will do the same to bring it on the top. So now what we are going to do is we'll select this shape over here and make it a little bit smaller. And now we need to make a few adjustments in our design for the top part so that we can see this area over here. So we will just isolate this shape and create a duplicate copy of the previous shapes on the top, and then using the shape builder tool we will just get rid of these holes over here. So now you can see that we have achieved this kind of look. Now what we are going to do, we are going to start working on the lower portion of the cone of our design for our ice cream. So first thing we are going to do is we are going to select this V shape and isolate it from the other parts, and we will create a line segment or a rectangle over here. Now what we are going to do is we'll select this triangle shape for the cone and make it isolate, and then we'll select one of these internal corners or points and delete 2 times on our keyboard so that we can create the fill style. Once we have done that, we'll select these shapes and we will make sure that we can increase the width of these shapes a little bit. So once we have done that, you can see that we have achieved this kind of look. We will make a few adjustments in our design. And now we'll select all of these shapes to gather into one single group. And now you can see that our design in the fill style is ready. I can see that here we have an empty spot, so in order to fill that we can simply create a path, and I will grab my pen tool and create a shape over here. So you can see that I have created this kind of fill so that my hole is gapped up. Now you can see that my design is almost ready. So one thing over here I need to do is I need to create the gaps between these circles. So in order to do that, what I need to do, I will select this circle and create a duplicate copy of this circle and make it bigger. and just remove these empty spaces between this design. And then I will select the other circle, and using the shape builder tool I will get rid of everything that is in between. And then I will do the same for the other part. And now I will select both of these shapes and delete everything that is intersecting. And now I will recreate this shape at the top. So I will simply go ahead and create this shape, and then I will get rid of all the extra shapes that were in between. So you can see we have achieved this kind of design. Now we are going to create the gap between our design for the lower part as well. So we'll select this whole shape, and then we'll go to the objects menu, and from there we'll go to path, and we'll select offset path, and then we'll create this kind of shape and merge them together. Before doing that, we'll create a duplicate copy of our cone part and bring that outside. And then using the shape builder tool, we will select and delete all the intersecting shapes from our design. So you can see that we have achieved this kind of shape over here. So now what we are going to do, we'll group all of these shapes together into one single group, and you can see that our icon in the fill style is ready. Now we'll go ahead and create this icon in the colored gradient style. So in order to do that, we'll create a duplicate copy of our artboard, and then we'll start adding colors. But before that, we need to define the colors that we need to add in our design. We can do that directly by selecting all of these design cones one by one, and then from our color palette options we can go ahead and select the colors that we want in our design. All we need to do is we need to select all these shapes one by one, and then we'll start adding colors in them. And then we'll select the lower portion of my design, and then I will add color in there as well. So now you can see that I have added in the lower cone area of my design. Now once we have added the colors, we can make this whole design in the gradient as well. So first thing we need to do is we'll add different swatches on the top, and then we need to define each of the gradient style against that color. So I will select one swatch, and then I will add the other variation of that swatch, and then I will add a different color in that. So maybe we can go from a slightly dim color to a more saturated color. So first I will go ahead and add a gradient inside, and then from upper two swatches I will add these colors on both of the edges for the transition of our gradient. And now we'll convert this linear gradient into the radial gradient. So you can see that we have achieved this kind of look. Now we'll do the same for the other design parts. So I will work on this yellowish golden part as well. First of all, we'll go ahead and define our color range. Now we'll select the first transition color of this gradient and add the color, and then do the same for the other one. And now I will repeat the process for the last color as well. So you can see that once I have done that, I have achieved this kind of look. Now I will select all of these shapes together into one single group, and now I will add color inside my last part as well. So let's create the color swatch for that, and here we will decide what color we need to add. First we'll define the primary color, and for the edges we'll create a little darker color. For this area I will make the color transition linear, so I added the color and then I will add another color for the center. Now for the center part I will create the lighter tone, and for the edges I will add the darker tone. I will just adjust the handles a little bit so you can see that how it goes. Now I will select all of these shapes together into one single group, and you can see that my icon in the colored gradient color or the fill style and line art style is ready. Now I will go ahead and see you in the next class.